Welcome to the Phlarpin Podcast. Phlarp stands for Park Hills Live Action Role Players. We are a medieval fantasy-themed LARP group that engages in unscripted combat against each other using padded LARP weapons and a shared combat system. We operate out of Park Hills, Missouri every Sunday from 1 p.m. until 5 p.m. It is our hope here at the Phlarpin Podcast that through the utilization of this platform, we can expand on the ideas and suggestions taken from our players in order to maximize player retention and to expand our player base. The Phlarpin Podcast is made possible by support from our players and listeners like you. If you would like to support us, please visit our Patreon where you can do so for as little as $3 a month. Also, any engagement on our YouTube or Facebook pages is much appreciated, and thank you for listening. All right, welcome to the Phlarpin Podcast. My name is Jason Smith, or North.
And I'm Brandon Frazier, or Daveen Alwyn.
And I am Chris, or Eric the Red.
I am Eufutin or Blake.
All right, I guess we'll start with you, Futon, seeing as how this is your first time on the podcast. What we normally do is we ask new people that haven't been on the podcast before, how long have you LARPed, and why do you LARP?
I LARP because I think it's fun and it helps me socialize. I've been doing it for, I think, 4 months or 5.
Cool.
I
So-
think it's been longer than that.
Is it only with us
Yeah.
that you've LARPed with?
Well,
You never LARPed
no,
with any
I've
other groups?
I've LARPed before, but it was like maybe for like a week or 2 with other people.
Oh, okay. What do you think about ours compared to whichever other one you were at?
It's a lot better with the rules and everything.
Cool. That's what I like to hear.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I think this is the best Phlarp system I've ever used. So, I tried the Amp Guard thing, hated it.
Oh, okay.
So, to each their own, but
Right.
I do enjoy Phlarp system a lot more than I do any of the others. So,
I agree. I mean, why wouldn't I? But
right.
that'd be stupid if I didn't agree. Or I would change it.
Right.
Right.
Makes sense.
Anyway. All right. So I guess.
Joke?
Are you ready for jokes?
Oh yeah, Daveen's corner.
We always have to start with a joke, bro.
Oh,
So
okay.
I actually found 2 jokes. So this for last week, since we didn't get together.
We did the backup podcast.
Yeah, I got a joke for each week. So this is going to be the jokes of the weeks. I don't know. Whatever. I got 2 jokes. All right. The first one is, if we were fighting an undead centaur, would we be beating a dead horse?
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty
Okay.
good.
That's the 2. Okay. And the other one is, why couldn't the dragonborn barbarian enter a rage?
I don't know why.
He had erectile dysfunction.
Oh my god.
Okay. That one's not as good.
That's
It's all right.
hilarious. What are you talking about? That's a gold joke.
Silver maybe. I
Mm,
don't know about gold. That's
I don't even think it registers bronze.
wow.
Oh damn.
Sorry, bro.
Usually you get more fans
Like,
than if
first
I'm
one.
out on a joke. Usually other people think it's really funny. but
Yeah.
Like
dang.
the first one, it was top
was pretty
notch.
good,
This one
but-
was just
I think I disagree. I'm gonna take a stand here and say I disagree. I think both jokes were solid.
okay.
All right. Well, you're subjectively wrong.
Fair enough.
Everyone
Okay.
is entitled to their wrong opinion.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So
It's better than no jokes. Did you bring any jokes?
I did. You.
Oh, okay.
That was
I
pretty
thought
funny.
I was the joke of the group.
All right.
Goodness gracious.
Hilarious.
I.
Yeah, you brought the co-host. I thought he was the joke.
No,
Yeah.
I didn't. No. I didn't bring.
Oh, I did. I brought the
Yeah.
co-host.
Yes.
Yeah, you're right.
I do have a question for our guest host today. Okay, so my question is usually food related, and today it's going to be, what is your favorite condiment? You get one condiment for the rest of your life. All the other ones go away. What are you choosing?
Barbecue sauce.
Okay. Is there like a specific brand or style barbecue sauce you
Sweet
like?
Baby Ray's.
Okay.
Okay.
Sweet Baby Ray's is good. I got no complaints about that. But the Chipotle, if you ever get an opportunity to try the Chipotle Sweet Baby Ray's, in my
Really?
opinion, it's the best.
Never tried it.
never had that one yet.
It's a little spicy, just a little bit,
I'm
not
fine with that.
overly spicy.
I love Chipotle beef jerky.
Okay. Well, try it sometime. They only sell it in little tiny bottles, and it's like the same price as like the regular Sweet Baby Ray's in the big bottle,
Oh, I
but
feel like if you bring
worth it. Worth it.
Okay.
So there you go.
So, what would you
So-
like to talk about?
I guess a recap. We'll just recap the day.
Okay.
That's fair.
Do we?
Does anybody know who
we
did?
We can talk a little bit about why I was out last week, I guess.
Okay.
Because, I mean, probably the listeners didn't know. I mean, I guess most of them are already players, so they probably did. But I'll just say real quick, the reason I wasn't there last week, and the marshals all stepped up, and everybody stepped up and took all the stuff, come to my house, get it, and took it out to the park. And I appreciate that, so thank you to anybody that did that. You guys, I appreciate it. And you, if you were part of that, too. The reason is because I hurt my back a little bit, but I'm back this week, so I'm fine now and
On
doing
light
good.
duty?
Yep, on light duty. Yep.
Yeah.
I'm back to work and everything, so
Good. I'm glad you're
I was
okay.
able to come up there, and I didn't fight today, but I got around and lifted stuff, and I was fine. So
That's
Yeah.
good.
it's good to be back.
It's good to have you
Weird
back.
to, weird to miss.
Speaking
Wait,
of
does that mean
which,
you can't use heavy duty tools?
Correct.
Oh wow. I noticed the grass was a little long,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
and I
Yeah.
was thinking, because isn't that how you injured your back? Was trying to mow the grass.
Right.
I was
Yes.
thinking you
Right.
could offer a deal to Magnus, maybe have him cut the
Oh,
grass
yeah, that's true.
for some gold for the month or something.
Yeah, that's
you know?
true.
Couple silver pieces.
He doesn't listen to this podcast though, so of course
Well,
I'll
you'd
have
have
to,
to
like,
just tell
go
him.
upstairs and
Yeah.
tell him. Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
naturally, but just maybe a way to get out of
Yeah,
cutting
that's
that
true.
grass.
I actually kind of thought that after I crawled back inside out of my yard
Mm.
with my hurt
It was
back.
that bad.
I thought,
He
oh yeah,
crawled.
dude, I army crawled all the way inside, like just didn't even use
Oh,
my
wow.
back legs, and I couldn't do anything because if I engaged if I even went to roll over and engage my back muscles, and that was just too
Ugh.
much. What I did was I pulled a muscle or something
Was
in
it
my back.
was it high crawl or low crawl?
It was a low crawl.
Okay.
Yeah, it
Can,
was.
can you?
no,
No.
I'm not gonna do. It was like
No.
this.
Okay, so low crawl is literally where your face is in the dirt, and the only thing you hand.
No, then I
use your
high
hands-
crawled. I
High
was able
crawled
to
is up
raise
like this.
Yeah, I was able to raise up a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was thinking, man, is this why people start paying like young people to like
Yes.
pay to mow their grass?
Yes.
Like I did think about that whenever I was
Yeah.
crawling back in. I was like, man, now I have to like pay somebody to mow my grass now because I'm like an old man.
He wasn't thinking about the pain. He's thinking, what young kid could I get?
yeah.
Yeah.
Or if you can't get Magnus to do it, I'll do it.
Oh yeah.
There you go.
Okay.
Oh.
All right.
I mean, I wouldn't agree to cut somebody's grass before you find out how much to cut it for, but hey,
yeah, I'm just saying.
I might
Free.
take you up on that
You
offer.
know what? I would just. You can cut it for free.
How about you give me
There's
gold
no
for the
counter
month?
offer. It's free.
I'll think about it.
I think that's a solid deal. Something to think about anyway. If, of course, Magnus doesn't want to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Are you gonna mow it for the whole month? Like, are you gonna mow it again?
Yeah.
You know, in 2 weeks or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. You might have yourself a deal there then.
Okay.
If old Magnus doesn't jump on it.
Jeez, you don't listen to your attorney. I said free. That's it.
I mean, to be fair, he's offering a pretty good deal right now. Just saying. Nonetheless, recap. Let's recap this.
Oh, he used my term. Nonetheless,
Nonetheless,
That was his term.
that was my.
it was your turn. No, I took it.
You confiscated it.
To be fair, I really don't want the term. You can have it back. It's actually not a good term.
I'm bringing it back.
I don't know that it ever was here.
It was here. I'm bringing it back.
It sounds really circular, nonetheless. Anyway,
Yeah, it just doesn't make any
It
sense. That's
sounds
why I said
weird.
he could have it back. It's
Okay.
not a good term.
it's confusing.
You can-
Okay.
you can have it. I don't know what that's
3
supposed to be.
syllables.
Oh my gosh. Well, it's not one word.
It's not one word, but it's 3 syllables.
It's 3 one-syllable words.
Jam it.
Anyway, so we did stuff today. What'd we do?
Well,
First we played Last Man.
yep.
Wow.
You remember?
Mm-hmm.
The question is, do you remember who won? That's the real question.
It wasn't me.
That's a song.
Yep.
I don't know if you know that or not.
Yeah.
I can tell you, even though I don't have it pulled up
What
yet.
is this?
I
Um,
thought
I have it, I
Heston
think.
was one of them.
But
like in
it
the
was
top
hard to
3.
read. At the
yeah, so
top.
technically Heston finished in 3rd place. 2nd place was Lord Reese. And in 1st place it was Gregor
Hmm.
for Last Man Standing.
Mm-hmm.
That was Last Man.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a good fight.
It was.
We
Yeah,
had
I
a
wasn't there
good
for it.
number
How'd
of
it
people
go?
out there. I think it went well. We had a good number of people out there, especially at the beginning of the day. Of course, like the heat, I think, kind of dwindled numbers a little bit.
Mhm.
as we
Today was the
went
first day really that it was like really,
Really
hot.
hot.
on. It was
hot.
humid. That I think that was the worst part was the humidity.
Humidity, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, and then we had patrol after that with 4 new heroes today, which was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
It's rare that we ever get 4 in a
Mhm.
week.
Same
Yeah,
for
that's
me.
the most we've had at
Mm-hmm.
one time since we came back.
Right, and we came back a little over a year ago, right?
Just under.
Just under.
Yeah,
Okay.
just
under a
Okay,
year,
just under a
yeah.
year. Okay,
Mhm.
cool. So that happened, and I don't particularly remember all the names of the new heroes. I know we had Odin, was one of them. There was another one too that I was Igor. Is that a new one?
Yeah, Igor. That was one. Yes.
Wasn't he the one with the shield? The like toboggan like shield.
Maybe I'm not sure.
No, I think his was something. Aragon. One of them was Aragon.
Yeah, that was the other one
There's
that I had remembered.
The one with the fuzzy-looking shield, and that other guy that was with him was Aragon or whatever,
Odin.
and Odin. Yes. And then the one that came with Eldron was who you were saying. What was that name
Igor?
you just said? Igor. Yeah. And then the other guy, I don't think he had a name yet. We actually didn't put him in the computer yet. He did sign a waiver and everything, but we didn't get him in the computer. And then he had to go. So he said
Okay.
he said he was going to be back next week though, and then we could do it then.
Oh,
so
that's good.
he wasn't going to play it first until we went to do patrol, and then he saw that what we were doing. He's like, all right, I'll go ahead and play or whatever if you want to, put me in the computer. And I was like, we'll just play first, and then I'll do it after. And then
Sure.
he
Well,
had
I
to
thought
go
it went well.
afterwards, So yeah, I thought it was a great initiation. We did it in a little bit different spot than we usually do.
True.
A little more
And,
over to the side of the park a little bit, but still where we had the woods to, work the goblins from, or so
Mhm.
they would come from the woods. Right?
Yeah, and I made sure to push everybody forward a little bit because there were some some sketchy areas there on the other side of the hill with the there was like a metal pole coming out of the ground, but only
Yeah, it
like
was-
6 inches or something
Mhm.
like that. I thought that was kind of scary.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it was
So-
painted, but I mean, mistakes happen.
Right.
It's better to keep 'em away from it.
Yeah, but I did think it went well.
It did.
I mean, I probably got stabbed by the new heroes like 80 times, but that's
Mhm.
okay.
Yeah, I mean, ogres
And-
deserve it.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, I was a big mean ogre, so
And I think one of them was a referral from Eldron, but the other two, I'm not sure where they came from.
one of them was a referral from, I believe, the non-living entity.
Oh yeah, that's right. They did say that. That's correct. Yeah. Those
So-
two guys said that. Well, one was referred by the other guy, and then that guy was referred by the non-living
Right,
entity.
and she had told me that they were going to come out today, or at least the one was, or she thought they were. So
And actually, we would have had 5 because Isaac had brought a friend over for a little while, or Magnus had brought a friend over, and they really enjoyed it. And they said they were going to try to make it out in the weekend, but then they had hurt themselves doing something else, so they weren't able to make it out this weekend. But they said they'd be out next.
okay, cool. Well, we'll look
And-
forward to that
So
next
we're
week.
growing.
I think the
Yeah.
one guy that had left early, I think Jonathan Trapp had referred him.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah, so we're definitely expanding. And we had maybe 40, close to 40 people there,
Yeah.
35.
Yeah, the numbers are definitely growing,
Oh yeah.
which is nice.
And I think that'll continue to happen with as it gets warmer and stays warm. I think we'll
Mhm.
get more people generally.
Or what I had said even last year when it was still cold is that I wouldn't be surprised if we have 70 people by the end of the summer
Right.
easily, and
Well, I
that's
feel like
up
that
there with our
depends-
record. So
I feel like that depends if we get the property earlier or not.
Yeah, I was just thinking about the property too. I know I've said a little bit about it on the podcast, but I'll go ahead and put it out there. We're really close to having property for Phlarp. It's not 100% yet, but there's just very few barriers left between actually owning a piece of 10 acres, which is going to be mind-boggling if it actually happens. But, I mean, right now I don't have any reason to think it wouldn't, but I just don't want to count my chickens before they're hatched. No premature celebrations, so.
right,
But if it happens, it'll be pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
And just so people know, we will still play at the park, and we won't make people choose. And it'll be spring of next year before we even open at the property. So, and even then, we're going to be playing Saturdays at the property and Sundays at the park.
Oh.
So the park will still continue, even if we do get property.
awesome.
That's good.
It will open up for volunteers to help me work on the property, though. That will definitely be a thing. So almost every evening after I get off work, I'm going to head out there because it's not even just a few minutes from where I live in Park Hills. So, it's going to be cool
I volunteered Futon.
to come help me build.
Yes.
Okay.
You know I do work 2 jobs, right?
yeah. I also don't think that that's how that works exactly. So, well, I volunteer Chris.
I
Aha.
volunteer Chris on some Saturdays. How about that?
All right.
There you go.
Yeah, what up?
Right on.
Volunteered
Sorry.
yourself.
I do not volunteer you. I voluntold you.
Oh.
Wow. I'm not sure that makes it any better.
Oh, dude. That was so bad in the military.
I didn't ask. I tell.
So yeah, that was patrol. I thought it went well. I was glad for the new people. I'm glad for
Mhm.
the potential property. Again, I don't want to count my chickens or anything like that. But
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm trying to hold all excitement for that back until it's 100%. You know?
I think I have actually.
Yeah, you look like you have.
He's got that Kristen Stewart face
I've
going on.
I've
yet.
been there. I'm good until it's like official. Yeah, it is. We'll see.
Ink on the paper.
Yeah, I just don't trust it until then. It is
Even
what
that step is already done, and we're just waiting on basically the bank to confirm that I get the loan, basically. So
Oh,
pretty cool.
thanks.
Yeah, banks take
I
their
do-
sweet time.
I do have a
sometimes.
closing date, but it's the 1st of next month.
Hmm.
But it may not still. It's possible that it may not still yet happen because of events beyond my control.
I mean, that's fair.
So
All right,
but we're
and
close.
when that happens, we are popping corks.
Yep.
Sure, I agree. We should celebrate if it happens.
Mhm.
But anyway,
Popping corks on some
Scramble.
water
It's
bottles.
a,
That was an
heavy
interesting
lifting
event.
that if is doing. Scramble, correct. Yep, Scramble was the next one,
and we played that for like a good 30 minutes.
That was very interesting.
Yeah, we tried to play for 30 minutes because it was a little less than what we were playing before, and people had put in the suggestion box that Scramble was a little long.
right.
And
And it was a little warm.
Yeah.
yeah. Even during patrol, a few of the new people had to go get a drink and come back.
Yeah,
like
I mean, it was hot.
halfway
By
through
the time
patrol.
Scramble was over, I had already down 3 bottles of water.
Right. We actually ran out of water today, and people had donated a couple cases outside of
Mhm.
what I brought. So
We're gonna have to start. I know there were some ice packs in there, but we're
Mhm.
gonna have to
Did-
start actually getting bags of ice. I think.
mm,
So,
Yeah.
especially with it being any over 80 degrees, I feel like we need bags of ice. If that means I got to stop and pick up 2 bags of ice each week, I will.
I can
So-
get as many of those ice packs as we need, but I probably won't be getting ice, so you may have to, if you want ice specifically.
Yeah, I mean, how do we
I get 'em
feel
through my
the
work, so.
temperature was today as far as the water? Do you feel like it was okay? You
Yeah,
feeling?
I can feel like
I
I feel
I
like
didn't
it
put
could have
those
been a
ice-
little bit colder, but
Yeah.
other than that, it was pretty fine to me.
I didn't put those ice packs in there until literally right before I went up. Actually, I put them in there when I got there because I had them in a bag. I put them in a bag, like a grocery bag, frozen, and then got up there and then put them in the cooler. So they didn't really sit on them very long either.
Right.
So that was kind of on me.
We also probably could put. Well, we'll talk about that later, but it might be okay. We'll see. Maybe we try to do it without buying bags of ice. Just try to get something reusable first.
Right. That's what I was trying to do, is make it where it's not just a money drain or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
Well,
I
I
don't
feel like if you put some on the bottom and the top, it'll work it out better because it'll
You
like
can put it on the sides too. Technically, you
Yeah.
can, we can put it all around it.
yeah, it'd help with the temperature.
Yeah, and get it in there sooner than
Mm-hmm.
right at the
Yeah.
park.
Yeah, agreed with that.
Yeah.
And then another thing too, eventually, which right now all the money's wrapped up in the property, but I have priced the big fans that missed, and so eventually I'd like to get one of them for the park. But a lot of that is dependent on a lot of other things too. Like one of the main things is somebody to take it back and forth between take it up to the park every weekend. So
Mm-hmm.
because eventually I might not be bringing all the stuff in my truck up there. So, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there. It's a
Right.
long ways away.
Right.
So.
Agreed with that.
But there will be some other relief that I'll be trying to get. And outside of that, I don't even know what I'd do to make it cooler up there.
I
not
mean, there's
really
only
much
so
I-
much you
Yeah,
can
there's
do.
only so
Yeah,
much you can do.
especially with the heat as it is now.
And I'll get the only other thing I can do that kind of helps a little bit is if the AC in my truck would be working right now. I know how to charge. I just need to charge it. People could go sit in my truck if they were overheated or something, and it would just be like a last resort. Like, oh, you can just go sit in my truck and leave it on, turn
Right.
the AC on or
Yeah.
whatever, But other than that, yeah, I can't really control much of the weather up there, so
We can get a
just kind of deal with it.
big banana. Is it banana
Banana leaf. Yeah.
and just have our town winch fan everybody.
Who's
Man,
our
you're
town winch?
You're volunteering me for everything today, aren't you? I am the town winch, by the way, everybody.
Okay. Thanks for clearing that up.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thanks, I guess.
I was contracted actually by
You're
Chris.
welcome.
So can you put a banana leaf in each hand and fan me too, or what is this?
I mean, the ambassador and
No,
the
no,
chancellor.
well, hold
definitely.
on.
If I get any type of leaf, it'll be a palm leaf.
To be
Oh, okay.
fair, wouldn't you want like
Make
a
it more
palm
classy.
leaf in one hand and like grapes in the other hand?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Start feeding north like Odin.
Yeah.
You probably need to take some photos for his Feet Finder account too.
Yeah.
No, I won't go that far.
He was saying he was lacking in that department, so
Hey, I don't give those out for free. Okay.
No, of course. I'm just saying he could take some
Actually,
of
I
the photos
did take a
for
really
you.
good photo
Oh,
today. It wasn't
okay.
of
Be a
anybody's feet
photographer
though.
for me.
Right.
I do want to show everybody. This is pretty. I actually seen it.
I mean, the podcast isn't going to be able to see it, but that is kind of cool.
Describe it.
It's actually a butterfly. It's an orange and black butterfly.
Does it got a sword-looking thing on it?
Can you
No?
describe
Oh,
it better
yeah.
than just saying it's an orange and black butterfly? I mean, that's a pretty good photo.
Yeah.
There's rustic
Monarch.
leaves upon the
Is
ground.
Is that a
With
monarch?
vibrant green grass around it.
I
Is
mean,
it a
see,
monarch butterfly? Is
that's
that right?
exactly what that is. Yeah, good call.
You know your butterflies.
Mm-hmm. I only know that because of a cartoon I watched.
Oh, which cartoon was
Let me
it?
guess, the Magic School Bus.
It's Venture Brothers,
Oh,
and the bad guy is called the Monarch. But he's kind of it's a parody of, sort of like Johnny Quest and
Oh, okay.
I can't think of other shows that it's parodying.
Timmy
Like
Turner.
Hanna-Barbera type shows, it's parodying those.
I don't know. I've never seen any of those shows. So
Yeah. Well, I would tell you an excerpt from those show,
An excerpt.
whatever, a piece of that show. But I would be the only one that thinks it's funny, so I'm not
Is
going
it
to.
will be one of those stories again.
Yes, yes.
Fair enough.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll try. You want me to try? You want me to try?
No.
Okay.
If you want to.
I mean,
Okay.
it's up
Wait,
to
I
you,
always think of
Chancellor.
this part.
I
Okay,
veto
I'll try.
this.
I'll try.
I veto this.
I always think of this part when I think of monarch butterflies and then think of this show. It's the bad guy. He goes back down, like the evil guy that is the monarch goes to. He's telling like his backstory to his girlfriend, and he's like, the summer of the butterflies. He's like, I got basically like lost and from my parents, so these butterflies raised me, and it shows him like dancing around these butterflies, and then he's like, and yada yada, and he's like, so that's why I come down here to Mexico, and he's older now, you know, like.
So he
he's
really
just-
got the concept of float like a butterfly.
And then the girlfriend looks at him and goes, honey, she goes, butterflies only live about 9 months. Because he's down there like meeting his parents or whatever, the butterflies that raised him, and they're all dead. So
Oh,
that's the joke. Whatever. Okay. I tried.
Thank you. Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you.
No, we appreciate the attempt. It is kind
Yeah.
of funny.
Because then he's like all serious, you know, and he looks at her and she's like, they only live about 9 months. Whatever. I don't
So
even know if that's
technically,
true.
wouldn't he be go visiting his like grandchildren?
Well, they're all just dead, I guess was the joke. I don't know. There's grandchildren might be there. I mean, the grandchildren of the butterflies that raised him.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
I'm actually not even sure how accurate it is if they do die, like every year or whatever. It makes sense. I don't know how they live through like the winter. But
Mhm.
anyway,
Anyway,
hilarious. I'm glad I made that attempt.
Hey.
yeah. Team deathmatch. That's what we did next.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
team
that was pretty
deathmatch.
interesting. I feel like everybody did a good job with that.
We basically had two big teams, and honestly, it was pretty close.
Mm-hmm.
I think we did a good job of balancing the teams.
Mm-hmm. And they were still clan based too, so they were able to stay with their clan members, which is
Right.
kind of cool.
Right. So that was neat.
And we did that- and on
we
that
do
one-
have the winning people for that one too.
And on that one, we did a little different too, which we've done this before, but it's like the difference between doing it with the lives counter, like we have like a pool of lives, and then every time they go to the res point.
I'd much rather that than the coins one we did.
Well, I prefer that one over just like the last team standing,
Mhm.
because then people will basically avoid fighting,
Mhm.
because then they don't want to lose any, you know, they don't want to be like, they want to, it's a waiting game
Mhm.
more, like say last man standing. Sometimes that's a waiting game because
Mhm.
you don't really want to, so if you go over there and engage with somebody, yeah, I mean, you're getting the action going, but you may die earlier than everybody else
Yeah.
because,
True.
you know, you're having to live through several encounters instead of just
Just
waiting
one.
back, yeah, and
Mhm.
trying to live through one or two. But when you give them lives like that, although they may still try to get away from people and stuff, I guess, and not
It
necessarily
makes
go
them
for
want
every
to
encounter.
engage people.
Yeah,
more.
they almost have to
Yeah.
engage in order to end the game, right?
Mhm.
Like they can't just run away from the other person the whole time. If somebody's going to fight somebody eventually.
Mhm.
The only thing I will say about what we did today is I preferred it the last time we did it with 3 teams as opposed to 2 teams. That's the only thing that I have any complaints about what we did today is that I did enjoy more teams rather than fewer teams.
Yeah, I think having more than 2 teams kind of mixes it up, where they have a different target whenever that one team is spawning.
There's a little bit more strategy to it too,
Mhm.
which has always been my favorite part of the game. So I could totally understand why someone else would feel the same way.
Oh,
Somebody
somebody else felt the wrath of my dagger today.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sir Trinity did. He got domed right in the forehead.
Well, let's not do that.
I don't do it on purpose. That's the thing.
I'm just saying, you know, we don't promote hitting above the neck.
We do not condone that behavior, sir.
Yes, I know. Headshots don't count. Don't take it.
Anyway, Just to read the winners for that, because there was a winning team. It was Lord Reese, Gregor, Arno, Cross, Magnus, Yefuten, and Eldron were the winners for the team deathmatch today.
Congratulations.
And it was really close too, like you said. I
Yeah.
think the counter on the other team only had 1 life left on their counter.
Yeah, it was very close. Very close.
Mhm.
So, yeah.
And also everybody had really good sportsmanship during that battle too. At least I felt like. I mean, there might have been some outliers to that, but I've watched a few people where they got into sort of altercations and then figured it out for themselves pretty quickly. So, which is cool. And they both looked like they both walked away, with an amicable solution to whatever altercation they had. So.
And the thing that I find really cool about those like team deathmatch situations is that, I think a lot of people think that their attitude can't make a difference, but it really does. If you have like one person in a group that's just got like a super positive attitude about everything, it's infectious. And so like, we were sitting talking to Trinity today, you and I were, about just like how he's been a real good sport about everything that happened like out there. And I think that stuff's super infectious. I think that it's super good. And, I appreciate that, because let's say somebody's in a bad mood that's on his group, that there's a possibility that they're in less of a bad mood because he's in such a positive mood. And so if you think, oh, well, I'm not going to make a difference by being happy or whatever, I
It's all
think
about
you're kind of wrong.
Yeah, it's all about
Yeah.
mindset.
Yeah, I agree. So,
And I think something that would, and I kind of zoned out a little bit there, so hopefully I'm not about to say something that you already said just a minute ago. But I think sometimes people taking the death, did you
no,
say
I
that?
didn't say nothing about that.
Is important. People are afraid to take the death or whatever. When sometimes, I feel like, I know I'm not playing for XP, and so maybe that's why I don't care as much. But I have just as much fun doing an awesome roleplay for death for somebody as I would if I killed them and they did an awesome roleplay death for me. Like, I get it. That's part of it is not being afraid to lose. That it's more more important to make sure everybody's having fun than it is for me to win. Essentially, of course, like I said, I'm coming at it from
Absolutely.
a different perspective, but.
No, I get it. I'll tell you something real quick, and I know it's a situation where we like to tell stories about ourselves, but that's like our experiences, right? So we were playing Minion today at the end of the day, which, by the way, Vix ended up winning. Congratulations, Vix. That was the last event we played of the day.
Yep.
But during that Minion, at least while I'm marshaling, have decided that I shouldn't win events like solo events like that. I refuse. So I was out there fighting, and I had amassed a pretty good little squad that included like some of our best players, basically. And I let them all spawn, and I knew I couldn't win, and I was the leader of the group, so I told them to all get, and you watch this.
Yeah.
I told them to all get in a circle. And I said, here's the deal. I want you guys to stand here in this circle. You know what happens when I die, right? It's all free game. But I'm telling you guys, as my minions, I want you to stand in this circle, and I'm going to go over there and fight someone by myself. If I die, you know what happens.
I'm actually pretty sure I was one of the
So I
last
went
ones that
over
wasn't
there-
on your team.
I went over there with this, and of course I got this massive group in a circle over there, and I go over there, and obviously I purposefully die, and it's just a cluster over there of people just stabbing each other.
All you hear was,
Yeah, it was awesome. It was like the coolest thing that I've done in a while. I had a really good time doing that, and I'm glad that they played along, honestly.
I was sitting on the bench for a good 5 minutes. I was waiting for somebody to come up and be like, hey, you playing? And just like stab them. Nobody walks up. So I was like, okay.
No, that's when I stepped in, though, when you got up.
You still didn't kill me.
No, that's because I was testing out my throwaways. So I'm bad about throwing them too hard. I can admit that.
Well, I don't know that
Look,
that's
well,
so
that's-
other
that's
people
the
throw
way
them
I
hard
throw
too.
'em.
Some of we need to weigh them because I
Mhm.
think some of them are a bit too heavy.
Yeah. I think that's what it was, is they were too heavy. And when
I run, I
Either
flick
one
my
end-
wrist.
one end is heavier than the other,
Mhm.
and so when you throw it, it's going to lift. And so even though you're aiming like center mass, even though you're aiming center mass, with that lift, it's going to go up.
Mm-hmm.
So you're either going to hit them high, chest level up.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of what it is.
Well, I think some of it's the weight because I also watched them hit somebody in the back today, and they were like that hurt.
Yeah.
So, just something we got to look at.
Mm-hmm.
I might have you hit me with them next week.
Okay.
So
Sweet.
I feel like sometimes I'm a better judge once I've been hit by something than if I haven't been.
Mhm.
So because it's not unsafe. It's by far not unsafe.
Right.
I just think it's like super packed with bird seed.
I think so too.
Anyway,
All right. What do we got?
yeah. What do we
Suggestion
got?
box?
Yeah.
Is that what we're on
Yeah,
to?
I guess
Yeah.
so.
I think that's
Did
what
you already fan out the ones?
Yeah, I think so. But if
But
if you're totally not sure, like, give it back to me and make sure I'm not being an idiot.
if it's
but-
got somebody's name in it, whatever.
or it sounds controversial or something. But I think all these I looked through and they sounded okay.
Cool.
Some
There's
of
a
them
lot
are a little spicy, but that's okay.
Looks like a lot of them today. So
they're
that's
not
cool.
they're not any one person. So
Perfect.
like this one is a little spicy, but I agree. I mean, I can't disagree.
We'll go ahead and start her off.
It
Let's
says
see what we got
if
here.
the rules to play say 15 and up, children should not be allowed on the battlefield. I do agree. Whenever there was at one point somebody did bring a
small
kid
child.
onto the field, and we talked to them, and they took the kid off the field. So hopefully that's not a continuing issue, but I do agree. That doesn't hurt to remind everybody about that. It does change. The reason why we don't allow younger kids as we used to, and it is fun sometimes. You want me to read that one? But it does change the entire way the game is played, because I get more anxious and nervous because I'm worried about somebody just accidentally running into the kid.
Sure.
Like if we
It's an
if we could,
unnecessary
I would
danger.
let them play, but it's too dangerous essentially, right? To have a little
Like,
kid.
we're
run around.
telling the 14-year-old there that's waiting to play that he
Yeah.
can't play because he's
Yeah.
not old enough, and then you got a 4-year-old running out there.
Well,
That's-
at least
Right.
I feel like he's doing the 14-year-old has good sportsmanship. He comes out there almost every week now.
I
yeah.
agree.
And he actually may be
Yeah.
becoming a bit more than just a normal
We've got
person,
something
so.
planned for him. Hopefully that works
Oh,
out the
really?
way I want it to.
I'm gonna read that.
I'm
one.
sorry. That makes absolutely no sense.
Oh, I like this one actually. Although it is a little spicy, this one also is a bit spicy.
Well, why don't we just start with one, and then we'll start rotating here, because
Okay.
it looks like we got a lot today.
Mhm.
So
Okay.
Congratulations, Mercer Stitch, for first win.
Some of these are from last week. Also.
Oh,
that's
okay.
why
Okay.
there's so
I
many.
was, I was like,
That makes total sense. I'm like, man, there's a lot today.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's because we have 2 weeks worth. Okay,
Okay,
fair
okay.
enough.
All right, well,
let's get this started then.
Last
Yeah.
week, congratulations, Mercer.
Cool. All right, so you're up. We rotate like this.
All right. Scramble being a 45-minute game is too high.
Well, it was 30 today.
Yeah.
That's probably from
Yeah,
last
too
week.
lengthy and does not allow for more games and role play to be played.
Okay, throw that away.
Well, just throw it in the pile of red stuff. Is that the red pile?
This is the red pile.
Okay.
Yes.
I got
And we agree with that one. That's why we made. I think standard is going to be 30 minutes for scramble from now on.
that's fair.
So,
I got egg sandwiches were great. Thanks, Mercer. So
Mhm.
another shout out to Mercer Stitch.
Hell yeah.
cool. Cool. Love to hear it. This one says, if you're so obsessed with winning, and you resort to blatant cheating, you should take a step back and reevaluate why you're playing. Which I agree.
Okay.
And it's kind of what I was saying. If you're afraid to lose that bad, then
Then you're there for the
some
wrong
need to
reason.
change.
Let's
yeah,
start
yeah,
with
that's
that.
perfect. Yeah.
Like, we're there to have a good time. I support everybody that wins. So
yeah,
you should too.
I agree.
Great time, but I would love Scramble to be less time.
And
We
again,
fixed
that's
that.
probably from 2 weeks ago. And if
Yeah.
it's
And-
from today, I don't think we're going to reduce it any more than 30
And
minutes.
I agree.
again, congrats, Mercer Stitch.
Okay. But
All right,
again, probably
um,
from 2 weeks ago.
The goal seems to have been returned. Looks like the gold thief
Oh.
wised up. The investigation shows much of the 5 clans' alliance will shift.
Alliances will shift.
That's what it
Okay,
says.
There you go.
Mm. Aha.
So apparently the gold thief returned the gold. Is that true? Can we
Can we confirm that?
I have gotten gold from 2 people.
So
But I
are
don't-
our coffers filled again?
As far as I know, there's still half of one of those things of
Mm,
gold that wasn't returned, though.
Okay.
Okay. So it's not exactly a closed case. Is what you're saying.
It was returned last week.
Okay.
Oh, it was all of it returned?
It was returned.
Oh, okay. Oh, I know
Apparently,
what you're
you have not been doing your job.
talking about. No, yeah, okay. I think they are all full now.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
so our
it's
coffers-
it's a
The
dead
chancellor's
deal for right
slacking
now.
on counting
I
the
think
gold.
so.
It's done.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. All right. Here we go. I got a pretty positive one. Had a super radical day. Team balancing was fun and was good sportsmanship. Personally enjoyed the pavilion and switching between them.
Cool. I thought the pavilion was pretty good too.
It was.
Really. I
It
mean,
wasn't bad.
Other than the one electrical outlet, which is a little
Yeah.
annoying.
Yeah.
Like the other one's got like 8. like
right.
800.
yeah, and this one has
And-
I think it has like a
one
total of
outlet.
16 on it.
Yeah.
And the people who were using our normal pavilion like left right after we
I
got
know,
there.
I noticed.
So,
I noticed. But it is what it is. At least
Yeah.
you switched it up and whatever.
and I like the front one where we played that one time. Except initiations from that front one are a little bit more difficult. We really haven't figured out how to do the patrol from that front one.
I mean,
Yeah.
I'm sure we could figure it out,
Mm-hmm.
but I agree.
I
Who's-
feel like if we did, we could make, but we'll have to do it across the bridge, like on the other side. Just
Mhm.
make like a little goblin camp on the other side of it, and then have the heroes come to that side
And
and
then
go.
just fight on that
Mhm.
hill kind of over
Yeah.
there, like at the bottom of it.
Mhm.
Yeah, we could try that.
You're up.
We'll give it a shot. Oh, okay. I didn't realize I was up. That was my. It was me.
Oh,
It was
okay.
my
I was
lungs.
like, what in the world?
What
Wow.
the heck?
It was like the. It was like me fully.
I thought it was a cat for a second.
Me too.
Can't do it again. I can't do it on will, but it was my lungs. It says, happy I got to engage in so many battles today. I am morose over losing my temper during big team. Please accept my humble apologies. Cool. That's
well,
anonymous.
let's
so-
put it this way. I don't even remember who lost their temper during big team, so
neither. I
I,
really
don't
did-
know that it was that big of a deal.
I feel like nobody actually did.
Apology accepted.
I mean, they
Yeah,
did.
apology
Apparently,
accepted,
they
but
felt like they
they-
did.
well,
you know what?
Well,
They-
thank you for the apology.
Yeah,
Thank
Yeah.
you for being honorable.
Apology
Mhm.
accepted.
All right. Played a new game for the first time today. Had a great time. Glad I took the leap to try something new.
Wonder
cool.
if that was a new player.
Pretty good.
Either way,
Awesome.
we're glad you did.
Yeah.
Glad you had a
cool.
good time.
Yeah, awesome. That's what we like to hear.
Great food, fun day, and favorite song.
Yeah, but hold on. No. That's favorite song with a question
Yeah,
mark.
favorite song.
I have an answer prepared. I have a favorite song. So
A favorite song out of all the songs ever?
all
of
the
all of
songs in
them?
existence, I have a
Oh
favorite.
my gosh, dude, that's so hard to narrow down.
So you want me to go first?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to
Alright.
think for a minute.
All right. So mine is by far
Yeah, let me-
"Turn the
let me
Page"
stop
by Bob Seger. That is my favorite song and probably always will be. Love that song. I love the hidden meaning behind it. I love everything about it.
Hmm.
So there you go. North's is "Party in the USA" by Miley Cyrus.
Yeah,
Yes,
that's it.
yes,
there we
it
go.
is.
That's right.
Yes, it is.
Thanks for making that easy for me.
You're welcome.
You were reading my mind on that
Go
one.
ahead.
Actually, mine is Wellerman by the Sea Shanties.
Okay.
And I would like to
Cool.
play mine.
Oh, jeez.
Now, here we go.
Don't get us copyright. Okay, get us copyrighted. That's fine.
That's all you get to play of it.
Yeah.
That's all you get.
But it's
Copyright
So what was the song? I've heard it, but
It's called Can't Hold Us.
okay. There you go.
by Macklemore.
Yep.
Isn't it?
You got an answer? For real?
Yeah, Miley Cyrus is.
Fair
Really?
enough.
I figured it'd be Firework by Katy Perry.
Then I'm moving on.
Okay.
Moving on up.
Okay, here we go. For the listeners, how many classes? Nope, that's not right. For the listeners, how many clans are there, and how many people can be in a clan? And
How
do
many
you
clans?
know the answer?
How many clans are there? There
Yeah.
are.
I feel like there's 5.
There is, because isn't that the limit? I think.
Well, if there's 5, then that's the limit. I'm getting nod-headed yeses, but
I'm pretty sure there's 5.
I mean we
Okay,
can
here, I'll
work
try.
through them. Okay,
We got
I'll,
the-
I'll work with you.
Acolytes of
Yeah,
Hyperion.
Hyperion.
Okay, that's one.
Red, Black Rose. I mean.
yeah,
Black Rose.
Chaos Company.
yeah,
The Watchers.
yeah.
And then Lord Eridan's clan.
The Violet Eclipse.
Yeah.
That's all of them.
That's
Yeah.
all of them.
Yeah.
Okay, so the way we've got it worked out now is so there's 5 clans, therefore the cap is 5 members,
Mhm.
Right, correct.
right? Once there's 6 clans, the cap will be 6,
Six.
and then 7. Well, I don't know. We'll discuss that when the time comes. So,
Mhm.
but
I think it'll. I think we can just keep going up with it,
To
depending
8.
on.
The-
We might wait to up it past
6.
I
6
say
until
6.
everybody's full, and then we'll be
That's
like,
fair.
okay, we can open up a few more slots.
Okay, I like that. Okay, well, there's that.
Okay. I have. Can we block off the bench in front of the food? It's hard for people to get past people sitting there. Also, it's kind of rude. So,
Okay,
they
noted.
probably weren't thinking of that when they were sitting there, but if, they probably weren't trying to be rude, but noted. Like if get your food from the table. Don't sit right down right there and eat it, where the other people are going to have a more difficult time reaching over your shoulders to get to the food. That's
I
Yeah,
mean,
and
that's
just don't
fair.
sit there if you're not eating.
That is fair, but I would like to make a counterpoint to this specific one. Today, I mean, with
that
some of the
that
fruit
could
and
have been
stuff
from
was
last week,
different.
too, I
That's
don't
true.
know.
That is true.
Well, I
But-
feel like the smaller pavilion didn't help.
My whole point is that today, at least, if that was from 2 weeks ago, fair enough. But if that's from today was supposed to be like, we were supposed to be served today. It was not like a self-serve situation.
Oh, okay.
So like the sandwiches were made with your card on it, handed to the specific person. So I don't really know that that mattered all that much, but noted, and we can try to make sure it's cleared from now on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So anyway,
I'm not sure what this is about. You need to put a lock on the chest for new people.
I don't know. If that was your card, maybe let us know in the comments what you mean.
You know what we could do? I don't know if this is what they meant.
I
Yeah.
feel like
that-
so
but
they
that
don't
is-
see like what we got. Going
Are they
for
talking
patrol.
about that? I don't know if they're talking about that initial chest or not. Like maybe you could have them like the paper goblins, as we call them, messing with the chest, and then make it be locked. Like I'll buy a new, because it needs to have a new latch thing, but get a latch, thing, lock it, and then when they kill the ogre, I feel like this is like spoiler territory sort of, but instead of giving them the loot from the ogre, give them a key to the chest, and then when they go unlock the chest, then they get
Their
what they would
reward.
normally get, from the ogre.
That is fair, and actually, that's not a terrible idea because like
It would be
sometimes
incentive to keep going past the
I always
chest.
have to involve someone else as the ogre to bring me, like I
The
don't want to
reward.
carry the stuff on me.
Right, and that
I don't
allows
want to
you
get all
to just
sweaty
carry
and
a key.
nasty. Yeah, so if I just had a key on me, that would be pretty easy to give to whoever the new heroes are. So that's not a terrible idea.
And if that's not what you meant, let us know in the comments.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We also may have just taken that way off topic.
Right.
That's
Probably.
okay. Who read that one? I don't even know what's going on.
Chris did.
It's up to
Cool.
you.
Cool.
Give me that one you got underneath that one. There you go. That way I'll have one more.
Based on each lord, what class do you think would fit them best if you could pick a class for them to play?
Oh wow. Well, first we got to identify the 5 lords.
Well,
Which is-
technically, isn't there technically 2 for the Watchers?
No, I'm
No.
not doing that.
Okay.
I'm just gonna not do that one
Okay.
because I don't want to start a controversy.
Right. You don't want to
So,
put one over the other.
so you got
or-
Vix, you got Lord Rand, you got Aridin Empora, and
Lord
Sir
Reese.
or Lord Reese.
Lord Reese.
And Lord Wilhelm.
Okay, if you're making that call,
Okay.
cool.
Sure.
I think Lord Wilhelm is good where he's at.
Yeah.
I think cleric for him works, and I
Mhm.
think it works well. That's my opinion on Lord Wilhelm.
Yeah. I completely agree.
I kind of feel like Rand. I don't know. Like
I always
defensive warrior's good, but
it is, but I always envisioned him as a big paladin.
like Death Knight is what I was
Yeah,
thinking.
yeah.
Of, but I mean, I guess they're both paladins.
Yeah, well, that's fair. I know, like, it's hard for me to envision Rand as like,
Anything other than
no, he's a really good person. And
Mhm.
so, like, when I think about him, I think of things that are on the good side of things, not the bad side of things. But also, he's a strong role player, and he could totally prove me wrong. Like, he
Mhm.
could go play the bad guy and do a great job at it, and I'd be like, wow, no, he's just a good LARPer. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's just hard for me because I know him, and I think he's a good person. That
It's hard to envision him.
it's
as
hard to
like a-
envision him as the antagonist.
as like
Yeah.
an evil character
yeah.
or something.
Like I could think I would do it better just because I don't think I'm nearly as good of a person as Rand is.
Again!
Oh, the cops, man. They're after
Bro.
me. They're after me, bro.
Uh,
They not last week.
Well, last week was our backup. We didn't record, but I'm pretty sure that they were there.
I don't think so. Either way, the point is they never catch me. That's the point.
Did they need like neon blinking signs?
They might.
Directions.
So
Should we
that's
call 'em
just
now?
my opinion on Rand, but you know, I don't know. I think a lot of things would work. You know.
He's just a really good person and can be a very versatile character.
Yeah, Aridin's hard for me because I think
I think he'd be better as a rogue.
he could be. He's quick enough to be a rogue, but he's also really good with a shield.
Mhm.
So I almost like the idea of. I was gonna say something silly, but I think a rogue would be good for him. I think you could also play defensive warrior with him. I think he could be a paladin. I think he could pretty much do it all at this
Yeah.
point. He's got the athleticism to do pretty much anything. So, and as far
Is
go
he a
ahead.
defensive warrior?
I don't know. You'd have to check that out.
Isn't that
Probably.
your job supposed to know?
He's definitely not a cleric.
No.
He's definitely not a cleric. He's definitely not a paladin. Well, he could be a paladin, but I don't think he is.
It's not a
Well,
wizard.
It's my job to put it in the computer, but not to know
Yeah.
necessarily.
It's their job to know, not ours.
That is fair. That is fair.
I was just wondering if like, is it 3 of the lords that are all defensive warriors? Is Vix defensive warrior?
I don't know what Vix plays, but she doesn't. Oh, she does use a shield. She probably
Mhm.
is a defensive warrior.
I think she is because of the hand armor. I think
Yeah.
she took hand armor.
And as far as Vix goes, I don't know. Maybe cleric also. I think cleric would be good for her. I think people undervalue cleric. I think cleric is super dope, and I wish more people played it.
If people could play it right, it could be OP.
I used to. I'll tell you what. Anytime I'm in an event and I lose a limb, especially if it's an event where I can like take somebody, I always look to see where is Wilhelm and can I get to him and kill him so I can make him heal me. Cleric is broken, and I mean it's. At what level is it? Do you get pocket healer? Do you remember?
Something like 6, I think.
And you get what, like 9 heals or
And
something?
he has
crazy?
like what?
For every heal you buy, you get 2 additional, so
Okay.
it triples.
He
So
has
it would
like
be
what, 3
9
right now?
If you had 3,
Yes. What?
He has
he's-
like 3 heals right now, doesn't
yeah,
Does he?
yeah,
Yeah.
I know he does because we did that today during a group thing, and he healed my leg, and he healed Gregor's leg, and he healed Vix's arm. So
He is the highest level person, isn't
yeah,
he?
highest level player we have.
Person.
Good for him. But I don't know. That's kind of my take on the lords and what I would do for them. So I also think it would be really cool to see a female wizard. That would be cool.
Oh yeah.
I don't know why, but I think it would be really awesome. I also I think the same thing though about ranger too. I think a female ranger would be really cool.
I mean, technically there was one out there.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Are you talking about Midnight Star? Okay, that's fair. But I don't see her play all that much.
No.
So, but she did show up today
She did.
with I think that's a family friend of some kind, and I can't remember if her name's Gandor or Gondor, but it's something like that.
Yeah, it starts with a G.
I think it's Gandor.
Yeah, that sounds right. That sounds better than Gondor anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So, do I have the last one?
I have one more.
Okay. Well, I'll read this one then. And this basically just goes to show that there's no way to make everybody happy. So,
Okay.
we just had a card that basically said team balancing was great. This one says that team balancing was a nightmare. So, I don't know that I agree if it was one life difference, but
But maybe
Was
that.
it
Did
really?
you guys play a team-based event last weekend?
probably. I don't know.
I think we did last week. I think we did Jailbreak.
Mm-hmm.
It could have been during jailbreak because I
Yeah.
let them choose their own teams for the first one. It went horribly.
Yeah.
I ch-
So
I
then
just-
he changed it.
I changed it. They still weren't happy. The
Yeah.
team that won was complaining.
The team that won.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is what it is, but it could have been from last week. But either way,
For me, it's not about winning. It's just about having the fun out there.
Cool.
thanks. That's the goal. That's I think that's our goal for everybody,
Mm-hmm.
Somebody's got to win. But we all win if we have a good time, right?
Exactly.
We're all winners, Trout.
And then I have, if your leg is taken, don't full sprint run at people. You're missing a leg. I agree, and I did actually see this happen today. But it was more like it took them a minute to acknowledge the leg. Like they did acknowledge that if it was if it happened at the same person that I think it did, or that I saw that,
We can talk
Happened.
about that later because I know what the situation that is.
it looked like he did honor the leg, but it took a minute for him to
Mm.
think about it.
Well,
So
we'll
he
talk
like
about it
sprinted
after.
for a second.
I don't want to talk about that.
Didn't
on
we?
the podcast.
Okay.
Didn't we agree upon a half gallop or something?
I don't run at all. If my leg is gone, I
drag.
match.
So I drag mine.
I
The
tell the
most
people
I'll
the
do-
same thing. You cannot take your dead leg ahead of your good leg.
Yes,
Yeah.
I match my legs right. If
Yeah.
you really, that's maximum run for me means I like won't take the step with the hurt leg any further than I went with the good one. So that you're like kind of shuffling, but you're
And even then, that's kind of extreme if you're doing
Yeah.
it as fast as you can.
yeah, you can still kind of book it pretty fast.
So,
yeah.
I
so
feel
if
like
that's
I-
what you mean by gallop, then
Mhm.
yes, you could, but
Yeah, it kind of looks like you're skipping. Sort
Yeah.
of.
you're
I
kind of
mean, that's-
circumventing the rules at that point, I think.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I have to like give a shout out this week. I gave Mercer Stitch a recipe for the cupcakes.
Mm-hmm.
Those were good. Those were really
She
good.
Nailed it.
Good.
Like nailed it to the T. And I mean,
When I went after my second one, there was none left.
yeah, well, that's because
They were that good.
they
Mhm.
were that good, and everybody was like, even the egg sandwiches.
Oh yeah, that's what the first one. Actually, I'll be honest, I put that in there. But the egg sandwiches were really good. I will say this, they were fantastic. But I feel like I've been kind of hard on North as far as food goes.
Mhm.
They were not as good as North's. They weren't. They were good.
I feel like she did perfect on the bacon.
Yeah, like everything was perfect.
Mhm.
My only complaint was that, and I don't know if she had a way to do this, is that the bread wasn't toasted. Like,
Oh yeah.
so like when North
Yeah.
does it, he cooks it in a pan. It's like the bread is like it's more of what I would expect for an egg sandwich
Mhm.
because I
Because-
like it when the yolk breaks a little bit.
Mhm.
It's like my favorite way to eat an egg sandwich,
Mhm.
and it does a better job of holding that
Mm-hmm.
mess. So that, but
Mhm.
the flavor was fantastic on the
Oh, yeah.
sandwiches. So. Not to
I've-
take away, I just feel like shout out to North. He
I've
does
never
make great
had-
egg sandwiches.
I've never
Mhm.
had an egg sandwich, and I've requested one from North.
Yeah.
Have not received one, so I can't attest to that, sir.
Well,
I can. They're pretty good.
We have some time, so I'm going to tell you a fun little story, and this is a true story, and North can back me up on it.
Campfire stories.
There was a time when North was making the egg sandwiches, and I would always buy egg sandwiches, and probably a stupid amount of egg sandwiches, if we're being honest. It was like my favorite thing he made. They were tasty, nutritious, whatever.
And it was fun to deliver them too. Whenever
Yeah,
we, were
we
doing
made a
that,
game
that
out of it
system was
Where
fun.
like somebody could like kill North while he was delivering an egg sandwich to somebody like out of town. Because like sometimes I'd be like, oh, well, I'd like my sandwich delivered to my keep at like 9 o'clock.
Okay.
Whatever, right?
Mhm,
Whatever.
yeah.
roughly.
Breakfast in bed.
I mean, it's a little
Kind of.
exaggeratory, but maybe. But it got to the point where North was like, well, I really kind of want to dish off this responsibility on somebody else. Would you continue to buy as many egg sandwiches as you did as I was making them? And I was like, no. I refuse. I'm not doing that. And as long as I can remember, he continued to make the egg sandwiches because somebody else tried, and I think it might have been Cage's mom. I don't know if that's true.
oh
or
yeah,
not.
that
be-
it might have been her. Yeah.
and it just wasn't the same. I was like, I'm not buying those. I can't do that. And he just went back to making them, and they were awesome. Way better than the jambalaya.
Way better.
Way better.
Okay.
Cool. And the way just to expand on that a little
right.
bit,
We didn't talk about that.
well, I don't know if I was about to talk about the same thing, but it's something that I always think about too. Is what you were saying. You describing how you wanted the egg to
Yeah.
like explode or whatever.
Yeah, so like I don't want it to where it's like just yolk, but like you can cook it a little bit and it's still the yolk will break, right?
Mhm.
That's kind of how I like the egg. He knew that perfectly.
Oh, you
so
like
that was
over-
like
you like
important to
over
the
easy?
story.
Okay.
Yeah, basically.
Mhm.
Okay.
And yeah, I guess did you say the
No, I never got to it.
okay? Well, anyway, and then I gave him I cooked the egg and I gave it to him and he was eating it and it was like the first bite or second bite or whatever.
Yeah.
And then the yolk busted and like went all over your tabard and everything.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh man, I'm sorry, And he's like, it's all right. That's what I wanted. He's like, I asked for it.
Yeah.
It's fine.
No, that's exactly how I like. So, my stepdad, my mom, like, will make an egg sandwich the same way. That's how I like it. It's how we've always made them, right?
Mhm.
Well, he apparently, when you fry his egg, he wants it to where the yolk is like completely cooked through, like nasty, right?
Or
At
like
least to
hard
me,
boiled.
yeah, basically,
Yeah.
where there's like no runny yolk at all. And he did the same thing. He like took a bite out of the sandwich for my mom, and it exploded all over him. And he was like pretty pissed. He was like, "What the hell's wrong with this sandwich?" We're like, "That's in fried eggs." Like, what do you mean?
That's
like
how
that's
they're
how
supposed
we
to be
do it.
cooked. Yeah.
And he was like, "That's never how I've had them." And he was actually pretty aggravated about it. And I was just like, "Well, get bent, kid, because that's how we're making the sandwiches."
That's how we make them around here.
But to further on that story, so I would tell him like, "Oh, like I want an egg sandwich at 9 o'clock." We'll just
Right.
say, right?
And I'd be like, well, then send me an escort.
Right.
You have to send an escort for me to like.
This was the coolest thing though. So like, yeah, we would send an escort or he would have one or whatever. But the thing is, if somebody killed North on his way to my delivery and paid him for the egg sandwich. They could
Right,
steal my egg
basically.
sandwich. Like, I would still get one, but not that one.
Yeah,
know
I
what
would
I
give
mean?
him that one, and then
You
I'd go
gotta get
make
a new
another
one.
one. Yeah.
Now the time's all messed up. I'm not getting it when I asked, you know.
Right.
And it was the funnest thing. People had such a blast being like, "Oh, we got to steal Caden's," you know, because at the time my name was Caden Atwood. We got to steal Caden's egg sandwich. He'll be pissed, you know.
And, I'm
And
trying
I
to, like,
was
sprint
always
through
a
the
super
woods.
supporter of it because hey, the more egg sandwiches he sells, the better, you
Yeah.
know.
Right.
Right.
And I just remember how much fun that was. That was such a good time.
I can't wait for property
And
because I mean it's like everything you guys are telling me. I'm like I can't wait.
I'm like, I'm ready for it.
We're planning some new stuff now.
Oh yeah, I will say that I had some plans for the last time that we had property that I didn't get to really do what I wanted to do, and if we get property this time, I'm gonna at least give it a shot. So, and I'm pretty excited for that.
Awesome.
Cool.
Awesome. I mean, I wonder if Mercer will have the same delivery system.
Mm.
I mean, I doubt Mercer will deliver it, but you know.
You never know. You never
No,
know.
she might.
Nah.
For the
Chris
right
will just
fee?
make the town wench do it.
I mean,
Yeah,
that
maybe.
is your job.
That's not wrong.
That's pretty funny.
So wait, now does that mean I have to pay Lord Reese?
Oh yeah, that's an interesting
Technically.
situation.
Yeah, you have to discuss that with him.
Okay, well,
So, do you feel like he owns you?
Him? No, he just gives
No,
me food.
Lord Reese.
Oh.
Lord Reese.
I want to
Not
know
really.
what your take is on that. He listens to the podcast, so answer carefully.
I.
I feel like he makes me a free agent, basically.
So as a free agent, it means I don't have to pay you anymore.
I don't think that's how that works.
I mean, I could just
Free
stop. I could.
agent.
I,
Free.
you could just find another bar wench.
Free. Okay. Free.
Yeah, good luck finding somebody.
I
to do
like that
job.
Yeah,
word.
yeah. Good luck finding somebody else to take my job.
I just like that word.
Or even
Free.
take that label.
Right.
I mean, honestly, they give this guy no days off. He has to be available in the tavern 24 hours a day, and when he's not, people get aggravated.
Yeah.
That job sounds awful.
And thus is why he is voluntold.
I just think maybe we could find somebody else to do it. You know,
Like
maybe
who?
I don't know. You're the ambassador. Go find somebody.
Okay,
Go
I am the
ambass.
ambassador.
Yeah.
I'm not the you know.
You got to supply the jobs. You got to. Hey, come on.
No, that's what the chancellor's for.
Okay.
I am the ambassador, which means I work outside
Yeah.
and promote, not promote.
Well, technically,
internal.
doesn't that mean he has to pay Lord Reese then?
Yes, 100%.
How much money are we talking?
Wait,
What is
wait.
that job?
Leave me out of this now.
That's
And
pretty
if we want to
funny.
get technical here,
Was there anything else specifically that you wanted to discuss on the podcast today? It looks like you might have something, but
Yes, one thing that we're forgetting.
what is that?
The code word?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we do need to do that. We do need to do that.
Mhm.
Doo-doo.
That's not going to be the code word. Anybody got anything? Futin? You're up. You're the guest. What do you think?
bacon.
The code word is going to be bacon. That's kind of a tough code word for me,
That's-
but that's
that's
fine.
terrible.
If you want it to be bacon,
Or
you got to put it in a sentence and make sure that I realize what you're saying.
Yeah. It took me a minute today. It's like every time. It takes
You
me a
know,
second to realize.
when people make salads, sometimes they put bacon in it.
Yeah, that would work. That would work. So code word's bacon.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Yeah.
I'll do my best to remember.
Do you have anything else, sir?
No, I guess that's it. Do we have any? There's no costume contest, nothing like that coming
No,
up.
that
No,
was
that
last
was, that was
week.
last week.
And we did a good
And
job.
I actually got third, I think.
Yeah, so obviously we didn't get to talk about it on the podcast. Was that for sure last week?
It was. Yeah.
Trinity finished first?
Yeah.
He did put it in there though.
Okay, cool.
He did I thought you were monotone.
Yeah.
No, he spoke exactly like this in this.
So what you're saying is you owe me an apology.
I do. I owe you a
Three-part-
6-part
Oh,
apology on
wow.
that one, bro.
That's crazy.
Because that was.
I've never heard anything more than a 3-part, so that's pretty.
You'll get it later.
Okay.
I've
right
only
on.
gotten a one
I
part.
got a story to tell you anyway.
Yes, you do.
But we got to
Oh,
do that
wow.
off podcast.
Off podcast.
Off
Wow,
podcast.
what a
Or
teaser.
we could record it if you. Well, we'll
and then
get.
put it
We'll
on,
talk
put
about
it
it.
on the Patreon.
Yeah, we'll talk about it.
Yeah, buddy.
Okay.
That's a Brandon
right.
story though, not a Daveen story. Just to be
Okay.
clear.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. So that's all I had. So.
Me too.
I do have one more thing.
Oh, okay.
So I had put it out in the Phlarp chat June 24th is the Firecracker 5K here in Park Hills.
Okay.
It is $35 per person.
Are they already taking signups?
I believe so. I'll have to check again.
Okay.
I was in the middle of work and I just kind of
No, that's
seen
fine.
it, so I was like, okay. They're not doing like group rates, so it is $35 a person.
That's fine.
But it's like a 1 mile or a 5K like run/walk. So they have details on the Park Hills Chamber of Commerce website, so
Okay.
it's all on there. But I know that since we are Park Hills live action role play, I would really, really appreciate if we can get as many people, as many heroes as we can
No, I
in this
agree.
one, because this is our community.
No, I agree. We would have a much better opportunity, I think, to recruit new players from this one than we would the St. Louis Walk that we
Right.
did. So
Right.
I agree, and I've already said that I'm in on that. So
Yeah, because it'll be all local people that will
Yeah.
be
right.
Depending on my schedule, I will sign up.
being exposed to, and then they will hopefully,
True.
if they are interested at all, it's a lot easier for them to go over and check it out than it is the people up in the city. 'Cause
Right.
they got to make a long drive or whatever. So
And to be fair, this might also be a good opportunity to plug the parade that we might potentially be doing.
Yep.
in the country days, is that
Yep,
what we're
that is
talking
the
about?
Country Days, which I'll have to. I've kind of been doing a little bit of moving this weekend, so I've kind of gotten hectic. So I will actually have to get that file and have you print it off for me.
And
but
I think it's July 7th, 8th, and 9th. I
no,
think is,
it's Country Days.
yeah,
That is
or in
June 2nd, 3rd, and 4th.
Oh,
Okay,
See,
it's
then I
as
need
the
to ask
ambassador,
It's right before the
then
run.
I need
as the
to
ambassador, I know this stuff.
check my days off.
Well, at least you're doing your job this time.
This
'Cause I
time,
thought it was a different
Okay.
time. Oh, well.
wait till this is over with. We about to have
So it's
one
June.
less. About to have one less
June
person.
2nd, 3rd, and 4th is what he
Okay.
said.
2, 3, and 4.
I don't know when the actual parade is. Probably the middle day.
It's
Right.
actually
Saturday.
at it's on the 2nd, which is a Friday,
Okay.
and it starts at 6. But
Okay,
we would have to
cool.
be there at 5.
What,
Okay.
PM?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
No, we're gonna wake everybody up with the band
Well, you never
AM.
know.
at 6 a.m.
You never
Yeah.
know.
Just give me a bass
doing
drum.
it.
I could wake everyone up.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
Going to
anyway,
parade at 5
But no,
a.m.
no chance. Or Ambassador, you do a great job.
Of course, I know this.
No, I don't do a good job.
You do a good job too, Chancellor.
That's why I made you
When
the
you
ambassador.
show up,
that seemed kind of secondhand.
Yeah,
That
no.
compliment. Oh, like, oh no, you're good too.
Well, I was gonna
you're
say him
good,
too,
but-
but I was gonna correct myself
But-
first.
That's funny.
I mean,
Well-
I am trying to get all this out there, and like when I talked to you about it, I was like, I'm going to take this dead serious because I really want, I want this business, I want our group to
To
grow
succeed.
and grow exponentially. And like I've been texting them all week. I was like, hey, I got an idea for this. I got an idea for this, and somebody I work with already, they're going to be out in a couple weeks, and
Cool.
so
Well, we love to
Yeah,
hear
I
it.
appreciate it.
we are I'm trying to help put that dough in your pocket, bro.
Cool.
As
The
long as I get
Sky's the
kickback.
limit.
as long as I get a kickback.
I thought outer space was
This
the
is like
limit,
government,
and
I
there's no
get
limit to outer
kickbacks.
space.
Well, then there's no limit to how
The
big we
limit
can
does
grow.
not exist.
There's
Yep.
no limits, bro.
Well, anyway, we hope you keep listening.
And we hope you keep fighting in the name of our capital, Darvishan.
And we'll see you all next week.
Bye.